growing up, we're good copycats. We're like natural born copycats. You can see it more in some kids than others. But we tend to get our identity from the people around us. And maybe not so much anymore because of a lot of reasons, but it used to be the main people around us were our mom and dad. So we copied that. We got our identity. We got certain behavior patterns from being around mom and dad. Those are the two most influential people that formed us, really, for lack of a better term. That's what they did. Boys wanted to grow up and be like dad. Girls were growing up wanting to be like mom and still looking up to the other parent and their idea of life and the world and all that. That's where they got it from. We all have one Father. We have one Creator. We have one source from which we can get our true identity. That's what I believe. That's what we share here in one form or another over and over again, is the idea that we come from someone, not just some place, not just some geography or from some ethnicity. There's an actual origin to each and every one of us that my wife and I believe, if you can accurately, or to the degree that you can accurately connect to, identify, and understand this original source of all of us, you can find out more about who you are. But we will be like him when we see him as he is. Not copies of him, not clones of him. Like him in the sense of God is himself. He is the ultimate individual. He is the one who is most complete in himself. And I see different attributes of him by reading the Bible, by praying, by meditating, by listening, by speaking. I get little glimpses of him here and there. But I don't see him fully yet because I live in this fallen world as a fallen person. Even though I'm quite secure in my belief that I belong to him, I'm still not beholding all of him. Because that is the thing that will take you out of this world. You can't live in this world. He says, if you see me, you'll die. You die to this world is what you die to, but you become alive to him. Because you will see your true identity. You'll gain full understanding of who you are, and you will become, as I alluded to just a few seconds ago, you'll become complete. You'll be like him in the sense that you will be fully who you are. So, just for the record, just know that when John said that in 1 John chapter 3, that we will be like him, I don't think it means we're all going to be little clones of Jesus. We are simply going to be fully our individual selves, because I believe God is an individual means something. It means that he loves individuals. He loves individuality. And you can see that in his personality throughout the Bible, the friendships, the relationships he has with people, even people that anger him. Moses angered him, brought on the wrath of God more than once. But still, he had a tremendous feeling of caring and love and friendship for Moses. This was very clear in the scriptures. He was very passionate about Moses, and he would defend Moses. Moses was someone who is who he is. He was a true individual, even when that was infuriating to God. But that did not cut off his relationship with God. I'm not saying that we're going to infuriate God in heaven. I'm not saying that because we're not fully ourselves yet. But you can try to be. You can accept the fact that your God as an individual. And more than accept it, embrace it. Because through that idea that I started with, that we get our identity through our parents or through whatever, our iPhone, to the extent that we get that, that is our self-view, but it's inaccurate. So if I get my self-view from the Creator, the one who actually designed me, formed me in my mother's womb, knitted me together, as the psalmist says, and I don't mean just physically. He gave me certain traits or tendencies so I can be this individual, this complete one, of which I'll never be while I'm here in this world. I don't believe that. I'm going to struggle with it. But he uses it. He does the best he can with this fallen, incomplete person, and he uses it for his glory. As I said in a short earlier today, the glory, the true glory of God is that he wants to know you and he wants to be known by you. So the more you know him, the more complete you become, because you see the origin of where you came from. People put so much emphasis on trying to find their quote-unquote real parents because they found out they were adopted, or they always knew they were adopted and they don't think they know who they are because they don't know who their parents are. And I think that's missing it. I understand that desire, but that's not going to tell you who you are. Because then, well, what about your grandparents and your great-grandparents and their grandparents and so on and so forth? There is one origin we all share, and that is the Creator. Again, this goes to my belief, and I believe the Bible backs it up. You can argue with me, I guess. You can just say, well, God created Adam and Eve and kind of just set the ball rolling with them and walked away. And every so often he checks in on us. I don't think so. I don't think he micromanages our life. He gave us free will. And he is here with us, or at least he's available, close at hand, so that we might grope after him and find him. Because he's not far away. He's right here for those who seek him, who want to find this God, who hid himself for us, not from us, so that we can get a glimpse of who we really are. You can only get a true understanding of who you are by seeing the one who made you. You have a Creator, and he's the one who understands you perfectly. And the closer you draw to him, the closer you will not only understand him, but yourself. Getting to know him is what it's really all about. Because there's certain things that you have in this world that are going to fall off of you when you leave here. You're not going to have them anymore. They only serve the purpose of you struggling with them so that you can see him better. And I don't just mean because you quit cussing or you quit drinking or you quit smoking, but the real transformation of the heart. Because anyone can quit any of those things. Anyone, even people who don't believe in God, quit those things all the time. Only God can transform the human heart. Only the Creator can do that. So when you seek him and you start to see him, you start to find out your true identity. And that's between you and him. You are an individual made in the likeness of your God, who is an individual, who is the only one who is complete in and of himself. And I get my identity from him. I derive understanding of myself by seeing him more clearly. Not just by acknowledging that he's a person, but trying to understand this person, this individual who is complete, who is wholly himself. And the more we identify with that one individual who is completely unique, the more we embrace that, the more we can find out who we really are. Because if you just buy into some doctrine, no matter what it is, we came from a place they called themselves oneness, but they made an idol, literally a paganistic type idol out of the Holy Spirit. I would ask them, why don't we just say Jesus? We just got filled with Jesus. Why don't we call Jesus the Father? I would ask them this because I struggle with it. How come no one ever said this? Even though they said Jesus is the one true and living God, they still had their own separation, because it's all idolatry. As all religion is. All religion is worship of the self. Because These groups get together and they all decide to believe what everyone agrees to believe. They don't believe God. They don't trust God. None of them. Because God is not a denomination. God is not a religion. He did not come here to give us religion or perfect it or give us a better religion. He came here to give us himself. That's why he exposed religion for what it is. And religion hasn't changed in 2,000 years. The Pharisaical spirit is still here doing the same thing it always did. That's lying to people and putting them in bondage by subjecting them to lies about their God. Believing a lie, you're in bondage. You're not going to be free. You're going to have the total imprisonment. You can say that about anything. Drugs are good. Alcohol is good. My God is free people is good. You're going to be in bondage to that. It's a total lie. There's no freedom in that. That's why people in the church, so-called, struggle just as much, if not more so, than the world with everything. Big sin, little sin, divorce, drugs, lying, stealing, cheating, all of it. All of it. And if you're in a place that doesn't have that, God bless you. You found a good one. I just haven't seen it. I haven't pulled every single building, religious building in the world, but they're filled with it. And they usually explain it by saying this is a hospital for sick people or some cliche like that. Say, don't expect people to be any better in here. The stuff they come up with, I don't know. Why God shouldn't change you into something else. I just don't get it. God does change your heart. It may not be to the satisfaction of another person. I guarantee you, my wife and I, we don't satisfy anyone with how we look at things because we don't adhere to anyone's doctrine, to anyone's theology. The scribes, the Pharisees, those hypocrites, the scholars, the wise men, the wise guys, the denominationalists, the people in authority, they don't like anything we say. And we don't have a big footprint, so they just ignore us. If we ever did get any footing, they would, I'm sure, try to mark us out as some sort of heretic or something. But the truth is we just promote that people should get to know their Creator. You'll find out what we found out if that's what you want. It's got to be that way because there's not many ways, there's not many truths, there's not many lords, there's not many faiths, there's not many baptisms. There's only one of all of those, and that's the Lord Jesus. He represents all that. He is the one true and living God, beside whom there is no other. So, if you want to know your God, know your God. You're never going to find out as long as you're trusting in some theology, some doctrine, some denomination, some tradition of man or rudiment of the world that Paul warned us against in Colossians chapter 2. Everything is in Christ. Christ is all. And that's what brings understanding to things. That's how you can make sense of things. It doesn't happen automatically. There's still passages in scriptures I struggle with that are hard passages, to use that cliche. It's by looking at Him. It's by seeking Him, the answer from Him, and going straight at it. Going straight at these things that are difficult. Not ignoring them or putting them to the side and hoping someday it'll be revealed to me or I'll figure it out. I go straight at the hardest ones because that's another way of seeking Him. When you're seeking truth, you are seeking Him. So it doesn't matter what you call it. Seek the truth and you'll find Jesus. And you will find out who you really are, at least to the best that you can, until you see Him as He is. In Jesus' name, amen.